Grace starts off this particular event and from Los Angeles. Hi, Grace. How are you?
I'm doing great, Dave. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So I was the president of a company that my husband and I built with our blood, sweat, and tears. We had 34 employees, and our most recent annual revenue was $3.5 million.
Mm-hmm.
We had a bit of a situation. We started the company before we knew you, and we had 2 minority stake partners. And it turned out to be a terrible decision with them, and they basically stole our biggest clients from us. And we found out the only way that we could move forward was to dissolve the company because they would not let us buy them out. So we are back at the beginning stages, starting all over again, because we had to get rid of the cancer that was in the business. And now we're back to just the 2 of us. We do.
So you do not have 35 team members and $3.5 million now?
I do not have 35 team members or $3.5 million annual revenue anymore. No.
Okay, it's gone. That's the history. So how long have you been starting again from ground zero again? How long ago was that?
Probably about a year.
Okay, and so what do you think you're going to do in 24?
So we're just kind of stuck right now. We're trying to figure out how to move forward from all of the, I guess, sort of the pain and the trauma of what we had to deal with, because it was really our baby. We loved that business and put our soul into it. And the 2 partners were actually my husband's mentors. And we're just really stuck in an impasse, and we're trying to figure out how do we. But
there's not a tactical impasse. There's an emotional grieving.
Yeah, that would sound about right.
Yeah, I mean, there's all the legal and the garbage is in the rearview mirror. It's just a broken heart now.
Yes, and we were also the industry that we were particularly working in we were kind of painted in a bad light in that industry, and so a lot of our connections in moving forward in that direction are kind of hard to go forward with, if that makes sense.
Well, you got to rebuild trust because it was taken away from you.
Yes.
Or you got to get new clients, new connections. Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So what do you think you're going to make in 24?
In 24, right now we're not actually making anything. We were trying to negotiate some deals, and these deals have just fallen through. So at the moment, we don't have anything on the books, and so that's why we're trying to figure out how to regroup and how to move forward.
Okay. So the reason you don't have anything on the books 3 months into the year is what? Why is that? Are you spending a lot of time in your own head ruminating over this past and basically creating post-traumatic stress disorder?
I think last year we were for sure. Definitely in 23. In 24, I spent the first 3 months negotiating some contracts, and it looked like it was going to be great. It looked like it was going to be a real lucrative contract, and then it just completely fell through. But you were
working on one deal.
That's true.
Why? Mm-hmm. Why were you only working on one deal? Working on one deal is not a full-time job, nor is it wise. You need to be working on 10 deals. You've done this before. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. The last company that we had, actually, we had 3 major clients that supported us for 7 years. And part of the problem we had with that was we knew we needed more clients.
Yeah, you were set up to be owned by your clients, yeah. And you did get owned by your clients in the screwing of your partners, yeah.
Yeah, we grew too fast as well. We went from just my husband and I to 34 employees in 3 months.
Yeah, which also put stupid people in your building. When you grow that fast, your interview process sucks. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, and also the other thing is we have 3 little kids, and since we haven't really had any business, I've sort of stepped back to kind of being a stay-at-home mom.
How can I help you?
So, the moving forward process. What is your advice? Would you suggest that this is partly an emotional problem that we have to work through. It sounds like you were saying earlier, but also
it would be for me
out.
because I get mad about this stuff, and then it rolls over and over and over in my head until I turn it loose and go on with the future. And it takes up, like, your partners are living rent-free in your head, your ex-partners.
Yeah.
And you spend all your time back. I do it. I've done it too. I spend all my time back there going, how could I be so stupid as to let these people have access to the keys to the kingdom and basically take everything from me? I must be an idiot. And I run this over and over and over in my head instead of looking forward. And if I'd spend the same amount of emotional energy looking forward, see, like when you started, you didn't have all this negative baggage in your brain, so all you could think about is how wonderful the world is and go get something. And I got to get your brain back there because that's what I have to do with me. I have to get my brain back there. I got to go back to go, okay, yeah, I did something stupid. I let somebody have access to something they shouldn't have had access to. I put up with it too long. I did a bad deal. I built a horrible structure on the partnership. I hired too fast. Okay, that's all the dumb things I used to do. But now what am I going to do this time? I'm going to learn from all that, and I'm going to be a whole lot better than I was. And so I'm a lot better business person than I was when I started that other company because now I've got this thing called experience. And I'm going to think positive. See, if your brain was completely clear and all you were doing was dreaming and happy and positive and excited about business, you'd be looking at 20 deals instead of one.
Okay.
And you'd have some stuff on the books. And there's always been somebody in, quote, the industry, whatever the industry is, that doesn't want to work with anybody. And that's just part of life. I can promise you there's some people who don't want to work with Dave. And we go ahead and do it anyway, right? We go somewhere else. That's fine. Next. You know, I'm not going to spend time thinking about them. They don't make me any money. They don't help me help people. They don't do anything. I got to move on to the next thing. Or you guys need to start a whole new thing, one of the two. Just get completely out of this industry and go to a whole different thing. I don't care. But that's why you don't, your confidence is shaken and you're angry and hurt. And so you're being very tentative instead of strutting with swagger into these meetings and doing 10 times more meetings than you're doing now. That's what I think I'm hearing. Am I accurate?
No, you are completely accurate. It's been a struggle to actually get meetings.
Yeah.
And maybe it's the confidence thing. It's like
it's in your voice.
Hard.
It's in your voice.
Yeah.
You can smell it. You can smell it. I mean, you know, and think about it. Somebody comes into an interview for a job and, you know, they got fired from the last job and their confidence is gone. The way they walk, the way they carry themselves, the shape of their vocal cords, so it sounds like stress or anxiety or something in their voice. They're up an octave from what they ought to be, instead of the guy that comes in and just sits down as cool as a cucumber and like doesn't care whether he gets hired or not and is all confident, not arrogant, just confident. And you pick up on all the body language cues, you pick up on all the voice spacing and the verbiage that's being used, and we pick up on all these nonverbal cues, and you can't help but put those off when you're hurting and grieving. And so this is a healing process for you. And I think one way to overcome it is just massive amounts of activity. Massive amounts of activity. I think you go get 25 appointments, blow some of them up, mess them up, cry when you get to the car, bang the steering wheel, whatever, and drive home, throw something, and get up and do it again tomorrow. And just keep moving and keep moving and keep moving and keep moving and keep moving. Otherwise, these people that screwed you win. And the best revenge is success. So go build a big old thing. Nah. That's the best revenge there is. You know, anybody that messes you over, I mean, can you think about somebody messed me over in the radio business back in the day? What they look like right now. It's so cute. Yeah, the best revenge is success, right? That's what you need to do. That's awesome. You have the right stuff, Grace. It's just the hard thing I have to do, you have to do when we get screwed over is quit blaming ourselves. We got to forgive ourselves. And we got to quit living in all that junk in the past. The rearview mirror is smaller than the windshield for a reason. The windshield is grace. Go forward. This is the EntreLeadership Podcast.